Gojo is the most evil, vile, disgusting, scummy, obese, and murderous criminal of the modern era. He kidnaps lone orphans after killing their parents to turn them into henchmen to carry out his plans, and he treats his own subordinates and even peers like absolute garbage. Along with this, he regularly abuses animals and murders any hero that tries to stop his life of evil. This scumbag not only caused detrimental harm to public architecture and nature, but he carried out the most notorious killing spree of the 21st century, the Shibuya Massacre. He orchestrated a wide event where he asked the citizens of Japan to gather in the train station of Shibuya for a chance to win his 2 million yen giveaway, and when everybody gathered he began satiating his bloodlust by running through and cutting everyone's heads off. The only people there to stop him were the kind spirits who his organization falsely labeled as the disaster curses, and while he was on this rampage he had hired his fellow felons to cause even more destruction. Luckily, the kind savior Kenjaku managed to stop his rampage, but not before the whole city had been leveled by his students. Imprisonment is not enough for this sinner, he needs retribution for all the lives he's taken away. Mei Mei was a kind and... who the hell am I kidding? Mei Mei was a disgusting human who deserved no respect in the world she was put in. She would be constantly manipulating innocent crows for her own benefits, and she would always stick around notorious fiends such as Gojo the Butcher, his lackey Geto before he turned a new leaf, Yudahime the occult leader, and Shoko the nurse of doom and despair. On top of this, she was an avid scammer of poor homeless people and orphans all around and got a sick enjoyment out of seeing their suffering. She also was known for abusing and manipulating her younger brother, who would serve absolutely no purpose in the future to make a positive impact on society as a whole. Just looking at this little goblin makes me want to punt kick him to space. Along with this, she wouldn't even contribute to the criminal activities that she organized, only leeching off the hard work of her goons and henchmen whilst they died for a person who wouldn't even look their way. One day when she was burgling a grave for its money, suddenly the holy savior Kenjaku intervened, stopping her from committing this act of robbery. She thought she could fight back, but suddenly the souls of the damned started dragging her down to hell. Hopefully she remains there for the near future. Hanami was a peaceful gardener who only wanted to live a quiet life with her plants. She would always be connected with Mother Nature and help the environment by clearing up pollution and picking up trash. One day, while she was helping clean the rivers to help grow her plants, she was suddenly attacked by a stray dog, which belonged to none other than the crooked Megumi. She tried to run away from the danger, but soon after she began getting jumped by a whole gang of other delinquents. Eventually, she was left to the two most dangerous people of the gang, Yuji Itadori and his perverted henchmen Tadu. These two were prime disciples of the most murderous and corrupt special-grade terrorists of the world, with Tadu sadly being kidnapped as a kid and groomed into the danger to society that he is today by the nefarious Yuki. Luckily for Hanami, even Mother Nature sensed the evil these two villains possessed and tried to help defend the poor innocent girl from being beaten. However, Tadu was an avid practitioner of the dark arts, often using incantations via clapping, and when finally Hanami had gained the upper hand he activated his forbidden magic to swap places with her, causing her to be stabbed. Fortunately, the stab was not lethal and she managed to get away, but later on during the Shibuya Massacre she was one of the many victims of Gojo, the arbiter of demise. She never got to live the peaceful life she always wanted since she was young and had everything taken from her. How much longer can this injustice go for? Haruta was a young and kind scholar who was prospected to be accepted into Harvard for his intelligence. One day, he offered to cut a lady's hair for the small price of $10 to support his college fund, but what he didn't know was that this lady was Yudahime the Doctor of War. She reacted really unreasonably and sent two of Gojo's henchwomen, the wicked Nobara and Akari. He tried calming them down by giving them each a soothing puncture and massage, but soon after they called in the terrorist Nanami. He was beaten badly by him, but he tried to explain the situation in order to calm Nanami down. "Kind sir, please don't hit me, I only needed money to go to college." Nanami simply responded, "I don't care, I'm going to rob you for all your money, you brat." But before Nanami could finish Haruta off another benevolent spirit purified Nanami's soul. Later on, he was recovering from the beating he had endured when he saw the corrupted Megumi wandering as well. Being the caring young kid that he offered to help him get to a hospital, but the bum decided to summon his Shikigami Maharaga. What Megumi didn't know, however, was that his soul wasn't evil enough to control it, and with Maharaga being one of the most pure spirits, it immediately retaliated. It soon approached Haruta to assess his kindness, but suddenly Sukuna appeared and helped keep Megumi alive, hoping to still purify him. He then offered to have a kindness contest with Maharaga, with Sukuna eventually being the winner and letting Haruta run off to pursue his education. But suddenly Yuji took over and killed the young kid. How much longer can this injustice go for? Nanami was a fucking terrorist who enjoyed beating the life out of children. He would often disguise himself as a standard salaryman to avoid any attention being brought upon his devilish desires, and when the world turned a blind eye to his appearance, that's when he showed his true nature. When Mahito was helping out Junpei with his school popularity problems, Nanami helped Yuji, the evil fist of tyranny, beat the 3-year-old up. On top of this, using his fists wasn't enough to satisfy his ungodly instincts, instead he brandished a wide cleaver to make his attacks even more painful and gruesome. Later when Mahito used his domain, the loving hands of the universe, he was about to purify Nanami when Yuji broke in to prevent justice from being served. Later in the Shibuya Massacre, he brutally assaulted the young Harvard prospect Haruta just for wanting to go to college, and on top of this participated in murdering the innocent civilians of Shibuya. Along with this, during his slaughter he imagined himself having a nice vacation in the Bahamas while gleefully celebrating his kill count. In the end, karma would soon catch up to this devil in man's skin as Jogo would use his flames of divinity to cast judgment onto him, and later on he was purified by Mahito and sent off to be judged in the afterlife. Choso was once a loving and caring brother who would do anything for his siblings. One day while he was playing a nice board game during his hangout with his friends the kind Mahito and benevolent Kenjaku, he sensed that something was very wrong. His brothers, Jack and Tom, were on their way to hang out with Choso and his friends as well. but suddenly they were attacked and slaughtered for encroaching on the Gojo League's territory. Just look at the evil look on the wicked Nobara's face as she murders this innocent passerby along with the ruthless Yuji. Since his brotherly bond was so strong, he immediately was aware of the trouble they were in and informed his friends about the situation. Mahito comforted Choso, "Do not worry, my friend, justice will be swift on these evildoers." Devastated and enraged by this injustice, he soon went to confront one of the murderers, the monster Yuji, in Shibuya, where he soon became engaged in an intense brawl with him. He tried his best and threw out every trick he had to make the killer pay, but since Yuji had stolen the powers of his dear uncle Sukuna, he was more durable than ever. Soon enough, he was punched so hard that he began having schizophrenic episodes and panic attacks, where his whole mind was overwritten to become greedy and power-hungry like Yuji. Now being corrupted, he went and betrayed his friend Kenjaku, who himself was saddened by the fact a once caring soul had lost his way. This tragedy would at least have some retribution, however, as Mahito helped the wicked Nobara retire peacefully. Kenjaku was the most valiant, brave, awesome, handsome, and compassionate spirit that the world had seen for the last 1,000 years since Sukuna. After the tragic passing of Geto, Kenjaku decided to carry the redeemed villain's legacy by morphing into his body. He and his friends of happiness and sunshine always went on quests to make the world a better place. For example, Kenjaku sent Mahito to cure the crippled Mekamaru, but once he did, he was instantly betrayed by the huge mech. Luckily, the forces of good overcame this villain, but it turned out Mekamaru was just the pawn of the greatest villain in human history, Kasumi Niwa, second to Satoru Gojo, of course. Before his death, he left a message for Miwa: "I'm sorry, master, I failed to eliminate the target, but he will appear next in Shibuya." Soon during the Shibuya massacre, he heroically arrested Gojo the Butcher with no complications at all after his huge shock that his minion had somehow come back to life. Afterwards, he went to confront the monster Yuji, where he was soon betrayed by his close friend Choso. Enraged by this, Kenjaku summoned every spirit he had helped for the last 1,000 years to deal with the criminals, but suddenly Miwa appeared out of nowhere to kill Kenjaku. The brave Mahito, ever vigilant, sacrificed himself to protect his dear friend from being stabbed, but suddenly Yuki, the cosmic horror, also arrived. Outnumbered and outgunned, Kenjaku decided to retreat from the villains, but not before informing them of one thing: "You may have won the battle, but you will not win the games, the culling games."